Hey everybody! So Rudy from Alpha Investments did a video, and he talked about his end game, what he's going to do with his millions of dollars worth of inventory and his, stacks and stacks of heavy bags. So it encouraged me to think about my end game. Now, I wouldn't say I'm anywhere near my end game. I probably am just at the end of my beginning, if I was to articulate it. Now, my beginning started weird. So, it was Kai and I. We were opening packs on YouTube. We dabbled a little bit in the rip and ship and got slapped on the wrist by Shopify if you look at my past videos. So we dabbled a bit with rip and ship on YouTube because it was fun, right? We liked Pokemon, we liked opening Pokemon, collecting Pokemon. And in that process, I got the itch. I got the burning sensation that I wanted to do more with Pokemon. And I became fascinated. I watched so many hours of YouTube. I watched so many creators. I so much analysis. I looked at history. I looked at everything. And I thought, this is a neat product. Probably, I thought, hey, I'd make money at it. But realizing that I'm probably not going to make a whole lot of money, what I wanted to do from it is I am a busybody. If anybody knows me, they know that I'm a busybody. I don't stop. I just keep going to a fault. And I like having things on the go. And after the pandemic, after the pandemic lockdowns and all that, I during the pandemic I workaholicked myself to death. Well, a lot, not to death, but I did the whole workaholic thing, and I said, I want something that's less about enriching others. It's a weird way of saying it, but less about working for the man. And I wanted to do something for myself, something that I wasn't subject to someone else's thing. And I Pokemon popped up, right? Since the 2016, I played Pokemon Go, and I still play Pokemon Go. But I was interested in Pokemon for a long time. I remember my young nephew having Pokemon cards. We've since gone through. He's been on the channel a little bit, but at the start, it was all about the rip and ship with me and Kai, and we from that we sort of applied to distribution to get cheap access to cheap Pokemon product, which distribution doesn't do that to you guys. You just get access to product, and it's not cheap. So we did the rip and ship. We tried it a little bit on YouTube. You'll probably see some of our really oldest lives where we did rip and ships, and people would buy and we'd open it. And we were opening VMAX Climax at the time, an amazing set. And back then it was before Japanese went nuts. So we were able to get it and sell it, and it was fun. We would ship it, and we met some people. But that got shut down by Shopify because they didn't really want us to do rip and ship. And I concluded, Kai was opening, but he wasn't having as much fun as he was when he was opening for himself. So we decided to go full on card store. Card store for singles, card store for sealed, since we got distribution, because we were rip and shipping, and the distributors kind of liked the idea of it. And I thought, hey, I could just buy product, set up the website, fulfill the orders, good to go. That's the start. That's how it started, and it didn't go that well. I ended up buying product, and it wasn't selling. Very few of what I was buying was selling. So that was the start of my Pokemon career. Very little selling. And then something happened. Kai and I, way back when we were interested in rip and shipping, we applied to Whatnot, and we were one of the early Canadian sellers who were accepted into Whatnot. We had a good time on Whatnot. It was able to let me sell products. Like, I was able to sell, Team Up blisters that I had bought. I love Team Up. I was able to sell Evolving Skies, all the good stuff that Whatnot people want. And that was great. I was able to sell my product. It saved our store, right? Because I had all this product purchased, but it wasn't selling. It saved our store. Rip and ship on Whatnot. Happened. Now, Whatnot's over for us. I've gone online like a few times, and it's just been, if you're not you're not a carnival game, it just doesn't work anymore. Just pure ribbon chip doesn't work. But it allowed us to move forward. It was our early game. And after Whatnot, what I started to do is start to focus more on the idea that local is the right way to go. Our problem has always been we can't find Pokemon product, and we always had ordered in online. We had to order from sports card stores, etc. But it was impossible to find it locally. So I thought, well, let's focus on local. And I have been over the past year. I started a Facebook group with some other people who were in the community, and it's growing and growing. It's growing so much now that I have to start booting scammers. Scammers are showing up because there's actually people in the group now. So we've done some card shows. This is our middle tier. And I do want to do more card shows. Absolutely. And I would like to get back into the rip and ship. But, streaming for leisure. I don't want to have to stream constantly. But I'd love to stream rip packs and things like that. And you've probably seen one or two of my lives where I don't open packs. I open a bunch for myself. But my original dream when I first started, I thought, hey, I will have distribution. I'll run this Pokemon store in my spare time. And the average Pokemon margins are about 30%. So I was going to buy $100,000 worth of Pokemon cards and sell them for $130,000 and have $30,000 in profit each year that I could do for a few years, get the business established, and potentially give the business to a family member who's sort of going to be entering the workforce soon. I thought about that. Whether it was Kai or someone else, I thought about it. But it didn't go that way. So even though 30% is standard for Pokemon, I was not getting 30% margins. It just wasn't happening. And I wasn't selling everything. Everything that Pokemon gives you, it doesn't sell. Theme decks, it's sticky product. So that was the start, but that was my plan. Now I would say I'm entering the middle. My new plan, and I've discussed this with Kai, my new plan for the Pokemon, our participation in the Pokemon world, is to sort of keep building contacts, keep building customers who are happy with you. I've done some deals that I've connected this collector with that collector, and collector X gets his Umbreon VMAX alt art. The contacts were made. I've started to use connections and things like that to try to put people together. I'm trying to build up a reputation, trying to build up to be known as someone who's not unreliable. I'm trying to get it to probably the state where I'm buying like $60,000 worth of Pokemon a year, which is basically, enough of each of the releases that happen each year, and hopefully to the point where I can sell $70,000 a year. Now, last year I was a little less than that. This year, probably going to be the same. I think we've reached our happy spot where we're getting access to the product. We're opening stuff here and there. We are, taking trade-ins. We have enough product or sealed product to take trade-ins for store credit, and we get these amazing singles that, otherwise we wouldn't get. I recently did add a single that I got in trade-in to my personal collection. So I've never opened a Celebrations pack for myself, and I'm working on the Celebrations set, a piece here and there. And the big one came in, the Charizard. So I had to add that to my personal collection. So that's the kind of benefit I got from the store. I buy $60,000 worth of product, hopefully sell $66,000 to $70,000 worth of product, make enough money to cover the friggin' cost of shipping, the friggin' cost of website, the friggin' cost of ads. That's my goal. And it gives me something to be a busybody in. It gives me and Kai a chance to, make videos, have fun, collect. But we're not keeping everything. We can't. We have to be churning and burning product. We have to we took in this beautiful Blastoise card, and I got it in the last weekend. It has to go out, the 151 one. So I'm trying now. My middle game is to build up who I am, build up a reputation, so that person X. I had a new customer today who said, "My friend recommended me to you." So that's what I want. I want good relationships, and that's the goal. So my hope is to build this small size Pokemon company that continues to sort of add value to allow me to get people the cards they want, have fun making content. I'm kind of hoping to get back into the rip and shipping so that, when there's a collection box that's just sitting on shelves, I can sort of, break it down and sell the packs individually. I still do that with the store, but, a chance to open stuff and make contacts and even just sell singles. Just sometimes people like to have that engagement when they're buying. Truthfully, going to a store is impersonal. And that's why, I think it's important for me to grow the persona, grow the who I am in the middle game. And that's, I think, where I am in the middle game right now. Now, Endgame. Now, there's two end games I can think of. One is, and Rudy from Alpha Investments, he mentioned Endgame. He dies, what happens? I thought about that too. Like, what happens if I die? What would happen, right? Unfortunately, as a 10-year-old, Kai, or 11-year-old, he's not able to figure out what to do with the Pokemon store. And I really owe it to my significant other right now to write out a plan to what to do if you had to shut down this Pokemon store. It's important. And I think if you're a collector, I think you should listen to this. So if you're a collector and you have a significant other who doesn't really know what to do with all your stuff if you weren't around, you should put a plan together. And it doesn't have to be in the will, but you could tag it, put it next to the will and say, here's what you should do with these slabs. Here's what you should do with all this sealed product. Here's what you should do with these singles. Now, I got so many singles. I do not want my wife to sell singles, right? She's not going to be interested in picking singles. So the plan has to be reasonable for the person who it's targeted for. And what if it was me and my wife going? What if, right? So I think you should think about that what ifs for your end game. If you're a business owner, if you're a collector, if you have something of value that maybe it's valuable, it's valuable out there, but it's just sitting on a shelf. So I think you should have a plan, and I'm going to put together a plan for that, like a formula on what to do to clear out this hobby, this store. Now, that's my end game, but I have longer term. What's my longer term goals? And I thought about this when I was watching Rudy, and he was like, well, he has enough product to sell for the rest of his, for 10 years, even if it's cut off from distribution. I personally do not. If I was to stop buying from distribution, let's say Pokemon says no more onlines. I mean, I couldn't give up I couldn't do brick and mortar. There's just, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. It couldn't be done. So, I don't know. I think I'd have to shut the store down if I lost distribution. I wouldn't be able to support trade-ins. I wouldn't have as many singles. I wouldn't have access to... I mean, I'm sure I could now find Pokemon a little bit better than I could 4 years ago. But I think what I want to do moving beyond this is to sort of establish this ongoing small business, the guy who can make things happen from trades or find you that card. I think that's what I want to do. I want to have this. I don't want to spend 100K on product anymore. It's really hard to sell 100K in product. If I keep it low, keep it maybe even under 50, and just have enough to come in, have enough for people who are, relying on you for getting them the set releases or getting things on the day of release. being I love being the guy that the players can send me a text list of trainer cards and playables, and I can get them at, like, if they're looking for four switch cards, or geez, what was the last thing? Uh, Escape ropes, or just playable cards. Forest seal stone. I like to be able to say, "Yep, here it is. Come pick it up." I helped a new player the other day finish their deck, and they sent me this 10 cards they wanted for their deck, and yeah, I was able to do it. I was just like going through the bulk, finding what they needed. So I think that's where I want to be for my now game, which is continue slow. Hopefully activate the live ship, Poke Chalet Live. Hopefully get that going a little bit. I want to be able to do that like once a week, but I want to sort of continue to build up community. I have to run another event. I'm starting to plan it already. I'm going to probably look at a community room and see if I can book a community room where a bunch of us can get together. Some of the other online stores, I speak to them. We're all sort of in the same boat. We want a rich collecting, and of course we want more people in the hobby. I mean, we want to be able to support people and people not be. I mean, we had to boot some scammers from our group the other day. We want to make people, enjoy it. That's what we want to do. So that's the game plan. Now, hope this wasn't too long-winded. I just like to sometimes have these, speaking to the camera discussions to chat. Kai and I are always going to keep ripping. It's always fun. We're working now on our, what was it, our Paradox Rift. So it's a fun set. We've been enjoying it, and the arts in it are amazing. And looking at the shiny set that's coming in end of January, I think that's going to be killer. We're, I think, a week and a half away from the Japanese full spoilers, so we're going to see, what's in that. It's going to be an interesting winter, and I'm hopefully to have balance. So, I work full time, and I spend a couple hours a week with this Pokemon business, getting people the stuff they want. I like being active. I like talking to people, because otherwise my work from home job is kind of has me in a basement all the time, full 365 days a year. So it's nice to talk to people who show up for curbside pickup. It's nice to chat with people online. I really like your comments down below. I'd really love it if you make a comment what you think about my start, my middle, and my plan for the end. You should plan for your end too. That's a very morbid statement, but make sure you know that how do you liquidate? When I formulate my plan, I think I'm going to share it. When I really know how to tell someone who doesn't know Pokemon how to get rid of things, how to rehome stuff, I think I'm going to share it on the channel here and see how it goes. But I got a lot of thinking to do. How do I liquidate a store and a collection? Think about that. Endgame. Thanks, everyone.